Are you tired of your cat scratching up the furniture or dashing out the door at every opportunity? You're definitely not alone. In this video, I'll share the exact steps that will transform your feline friend's habits without any punishment. Implement these tips and you'll see a change in no time. Let's dive in. Things you should never do. There are certain actions I strongly advise you to avoid with your cat. No spray bottles, no spanking, no yelling, and definitely no tossing pillows across the room. Don't rub their nose in their urine, and don't scruff them or lock them in another room. These are all forms of punishment that offer no positive reinforcement. If you're using a spray bottle, think about it. Each time you spray your cat and shout no, you're not teaching them. You're only making them scared. They start associating that fear with the hand holding the spray bottle, which means they become afraid of you, not the behavior you're trying to correct. So when you leave the room, do you really think they'll stop scratching the couch? They won't. It's you they fear, not the action. The tips I'm about to share are effective because they rely on creating an environment that discourages unwanted behavior without your direct involvement. This way, whenever they perform a certain action, they experience a no from their surroundings. These methods are far more effective and can guide them toward positive behaviors. Now, let's dive into some constructive ways to say no, along with a few absolute never-dos. The no and yes balance. Imagine you have a child, and every day you come home to find magic marker, finger paints, and crayons all over the walls. Frustrated, you tell them, go to your room and think about what you've done. The next day, the same thing happens, and this cycle continues, scrubbing the walls, punishing, and repeating. You quickly realize the futility of endless punishment. The solution could have been as simple as buying that child an easel, giving them an appropriate place to express their creativity. It's the concept of not on the wall, but on the easel. A clear no, followed by a constructive yes. And this principle applies to cats as well. That's what we're diving into here, finding ways to guide them toward positive behaviors instead of just punishing the negative. Managing countertop behavior. Let's use countertops or tables as a prime example. One effective trick is to take a cat feeding mat, turn it upside down, and place some double-sided sticky tape on it. It's a simple solution. Each time your cat jumps on the counter, they get an unpleasant sticky sensation. That's your no in action. Now consider why your cat wants to be on the counter in the first place. Often it's because there's food up there. If you're leaving food out, that's a no for you. Stop leaving food on the counter. Another gentle no method I love involves an air canister with a small electronic eye. When your cat crosses its path, a puff of air and a little sound come out, signaling that nothing good happens when they jump up there. The key here is that the environment is doing the correcting, not you. Every time they jump, they experience the same consequence. But let's talk about the yes. The kitchen is often a lively gathering space, so give your cat an acceptable place to hang out. Place a cat tree on the edge of the kitchen as the designated yes spot. You can even guide them to this spot using their favorite treats. While you're cooking, the sticky mat becomes the no, and the cat tree, where they find tasty treats, becomes the yes. It's all about redirecting them from no behaviors to yes alternatives. The never, what you should always avoid. So what's the one thing you should never do? Never scream at your cat or physically throw them off the counter. That's a definite no when it comes to handling unwanted behavior. And speaking of yes, here's a great opportunity for one. Managing door dashing. There are a few strategies you can try. One approach is to create a shelf near the door for the cat to observe people coming in and out, as well as to peek outside. The shelf was placed high enough and out of the way so that the cat had a great view while we could keep an eye on them. This helps because the challenge with door dashing is that cats often slip right between your legs to make a quick escape. By offering them a high vantage point, you give them an exciting place to watch the action while keeping them safely in sight. Another option is to use the air canister method. Place the canister about 10 feet away from the door so it's always ready to go off if your cat gets too close. The puff of air acts as a gentle deterrent, making the area near the door less appealing. This way, the no isn't the door itself, but the space leading up to it. Meanwhile, The yes is providing a perch nearby where they can comfortably observe the activity. Remember, never physically shove your cat away or yell at them if they manage to slip outside. That's a surefire way to make them hesitate to come back in. Instead, guide them towards the acceptable behaviors and places that keep them safe. Preventing unwanted scratching. So, how do we discourage them from scratching the furniture? My go-to solution is using something like Sticky Paws. It's a fantastic product that won't harm your furniture and comes in wide strips, making it ideal for covering the side of a couch or other problem areas. This is an effective no, because most cats will touch it, feel the unpleasant stickiness, and quickly decide, well, this isn't giving me the satisfaction I want at all. That's your no in action right there. The key is to redirect them to a more appropriate scratching option, like a scratching post or mat nearby. That's your yes. As always, it's about giving them an alternative that fulfills their natural scratching instincts while protecting your furniture. Providing the yes, the right alternative. You guessed it. The yes in this scenario is a scratching post or surface placed near the spot where your cat has been scratching. Let me quickly explain why this is crucial. Often, your cat is drawn to scratching areas like your couch or bed because these spots carry a strong scent, your scent. They want to blend their scent with yours, so it's essential to place the scratching post right next to the area they're targeting. This way, your yes is conveniently placed right beside the no, offering them an acceptable alternative. And trust me, it works. Remember, this isn't a permanent setup, it's a training tool. You won't have to keep sticky tape on your furniture forever. After your cat uses the scratching post 4, 5, or 6 times, you'll notice them gravitating to the new yes option on their own. Eventually, you can remove the sticky tape because they've learned where to scratch appropriately. This method allows you to avoid the never approach, yelling, shouting, or scolding, which only creates stress. Handling those midnight wake-ups. Let's address a major no that many of you face. Your cat waking you up in the middle of the night. What's your typical response? Maybe you throw a pillow at them or grumble, "Not again, Freya!" Perhaps worse, you get up, feed them, or even play with them at 3 a.m. The problem with this is that you're teaching your cat that their late-night antics get results. The most effective no in this situation is to ignore them completely. Don't call their name, don't get out of bed, and don't acknowledge them in any way. Whether they're walking on your face or making noise in the corner, your no is your silence and refusal to react. By doing this consistently, you teach your cat that nighttime is not playtime, and eventually they'll understand that their behavior won't lead to any rewards. Establishing a bedtime routine. The yes in this scenario involves creating a positive bedtime routine. It starts with giving your cat a satisfying meal right before you head to bed, followed by a good play session about an hour before bedtime to help them wind down. This series of yeses helps their body relax and prepares them for sleep, creating a structured, predictable environment that they can rely on. By repeating this routine daily, you reinforce the idea that nighttime means winding down, not waking up. Stick with this no and yes strategy consistently over the course of about 10 days, and you'll likely notice a shift in your cat's behavior. Managing mischief. When your cat is driving you up the wall, whether they're knocking things off shelves, climbing the drapes, the no and yes solutions become pretty clear. Usually, this type of behavior happens around the same time each day, so it's easier to prepare for it. For the no, you can rely on familiar tools. If your cat's obsession is climbing the drapes, try placing sticky paws along the lower portion where they tend to start their climb. If they leap onto the drapes from a nearby couch, consider placing sticky strips across the top of the couch or even moving it slightly away from the drapes. The idea is to guide them toward better behavior by showing them where they shouldn't go while giving them a positive alternative. This combination of no and yes will gradually help them understand their boundaries. Controlling access to shelves. If your cat is always knocking things off shelves, the first step is to stop placing items that are too tempting for them to bat around. It's similar to leaving food on the counter. Don't set them up for mischief. A helpful no could be using an air canister near the shelf or blocking their access altogether, creating an environment that discourages their interest in that spot. Now, for the yes, think about positive catification. Cat trees and shelves designed for your feline are your best allies. If you're not a fan of traditional cat trees, don't worry. There are plenty of stylish options on the market that can blend with your home decor. It's not just about saying no by blocking off spaces, but about giving them designated places where they can climb and explore freely. Using playtime as a positive distraction. One of the most effective yes is engaging in regular playtime with your cat. If they're zooming around or acting up, it's their way of telling you, I've got energy to burn right now. So, say yes by actively playing with them every day to help them release that pent-up energy. This proactive approach reduces the need for you to be constantly saying no. If your cat is looking for trouble in all the wrong places, redirect that energy into something positive, like a laser pointer or interactive toy. When I mention independent toys, I'm talking about those little fuzzy mice that make sounds or toys. You can keep it in your pocket, and when you see your cat about to engage in some mischief, simply shake it to draw their attention elsewhere. By doing this, you're not just stopping the unwanted behavior, you're preemptively guiding them toward a more acceptable form of play. Avoiding painful punishments. You've got tools like sticky tape and air canisters. These are great, but it's crucial not to take things to a place that causes pain. Be mindful of crossing that fine line between something that's merely unpleasant and something that's genuinely painful for your cat. For this reason, I strongly advise against using devices like electric mats that deliver a mild shock. These can be genuinely painful, and anything with spikes that can hurt their paws should be avoided. And don't even get me started on the troubling trend of using shock collars on cats. While it may seem like the cat isn't associating the shock directly with you since it's invisible, the fact remains, it's painful. It's okay to create an environment that's uncomfortable or less desirable to deter bad behavior, but never cross into causing pain. Always remember where that boundary lies. And remember, if you want to avoid the most common pitfalls of indoor cat ownership, be sure to check out the video right here. You won't believe what's on that list. We'd like to hear your results in the comments below. Thanks for watching.